What's up, guys? Vince Reddy here, and yeah, welcome back to the VinzTalk, where I rant. I pretty much am just a grumpy bee, even though it doesn't seem like it. I'm a peachy, fruity, but grumpy person, and I go off, just off the rails with a lot of my topics, even though I shouldn't. There's times where yes, I do hold myself, but it's been like that for the longest time where I just going off like freaking, chain off and like, oh, listen, let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. But I don't want to be like that. But other than that, yeah, I just can't ruin a beautiful day with me just freaking spitting on my phone all day. But I really do want to talk about some stuff out there, news related, just things, just good old things, and pretty much, yeah. I guess I'm just here to spit for y'all. So pretty much in the news, gaming, animation space, that's what's happening. And also, like for the first time, it's finally warm. I've been waiting for warm days like this. I feel like just it's already summer. How did it get 80 degrees already here? But I ain't complaining. I love it. I was walking out even during the windy days, walking out with a shirt on and not being shivering cold. Thank freaking God. I just couldn't handle the cold anymore. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I guarantee you, I might say the same thing once, like, it gets, like, I'm tired of hot weather. But if anything, I like hot weather more better than cold weather. So, yeah. Also, just a little, pretty much like bookkeeping here. I did a stream of a couple games I've been playing. I've been holding that off for the longest time, even though do have a couple of videos surrounding those gameplays. I'm not sure about reviews or anything like that because I am recording this like during like right now it's Friday. It's Friday, the weekend is starting. I've been doing all this work and stuff like that, and I finally get to chill. But yeah, for this weekend, I guess, why not give you a little something to hold off as well. On the news, let's talk about some news and stuff like that. Apparently, it's not news, more so that it's just stuff that I've been seeing around here and there. So, that's the best I can actually give you. OJ Simpson died. So that's interesting. I There was somebody in my family that was rambling about OJ. Well, actually, it's someone related. Well, not related, but not related. Like step family. I have a lot of step family. I guess I have cousins here and there that marry other people that I never thought like, oh, wait a minute, you're part of my family. There was this like moment of like I was with my cousins and their parents were just on about like the whole OJ Simpson. I never know what it was at all. And yeah, from what the news says, yep, OJ Simpson died, 76. I mean, rest in peace. It's crazy how the only thing I know about him is the whole stabbing thing, other than, stuff that, whatever, like the whole football stuff and other stuff, him being accused and stuff like that. And for anyone that is, accused, like if it is true, okay, I feel bad because especially I saw the hurricane during the weekdays. I saw it's a movie that is like from Denzel Washington. Man, what a good movie. The environment of these movies during that time was such a glorious sight because it was one of my faves of just, past time. I think I remember watching The Warriors. That movie that Warriors come out to play, that made me absolutely scared of New York when I was a kid. And just going there, like in my childhood, was, just the most terrifying things I've been through and stuff like that, even though I probably was in another area that was more dangerous. Being in hoods as a kid, like it's just like it's never really a pleasant thing, at least the way I think about it. Because there's times where I'm like, oh crap, well, I don't know how am I alive. Because now my parents have no idea how these hoods work, but these are just real people living in them that absolutely don't know how they work, And I always think about that hoods compared to just, places outside of our country that are slums that are 10 times more dangerous. But for some reason, there's something about, being in a hood in Oakland or in Brooklyn, Harlem, and stuff like that, compared to the slums in Cambodia or Brazil, like there's a different vibe to it as well that you cannot control. And I feel like a lot of times the dangerous places here in America is always pretty much the saying of just, you can be in the scene, but you're not really wanting to be in the scene because all those is operated by kids, but that is like the same for, I don't know. That's a interesting analyzation of just like what is the difference between, dangerous places from a first world country or a third world country, you know what I mean? And the what why did I where did I go off from that? Oh yeah, I was talking about the Warriors movie because I was talking about environments of other movies. But yeah, OJ recipes there. I'm trying to really backtrack and like where I'm at because sometimes I do get lost in these conversations. But yeah, one thing I did want to talk about here is like I guess something related to something that I'm not really part of for this, for because it's been a while. Wrestling, a lot of times I always try to think to myself, like, because I was into wrestling a long, long time ago. We're talking about a long time ago when the Undertaker is around, when Rey Mysterio, Triple H, I think that's his name. Shoot, man, there was people like long, long time, and like this is when more than I don't even think I saw John Cena at that time when I was like into wrestling because it was like back in like before 2010 that I was into it, and now it's gone to a whole different path or something. And I do know like a few people within the wrestling community, like Kip Sabian and also Ripley and Cody and Mr. freaking Hansley, the guy that I mostly know about on TikTok. Mr. Hansley, say his name. Like I forget how it goes, but yeah, big news in wrestling. Undertaker returned during a match between Dwayne the Rock Johnson, which is I feel like it's an obvious when you mention wrestling, but yeah, he just returned out of nowhere. I have no idea if he fight. And the thing is that I'm thinking like Undertaker is old. Like he probably doesn't want to deal with none of this. I feel like I think the last time I really saw it, I was seeing an interview of Undertaker. He just looks like a guy that just wants to, go sleep, wants to chill and be there with his grandparents or I mean grandchildren. I mean or something or children, grandchildren. I don't even know how old like the Undertaker is, but him returning and hearing that bell, doom, and things go dark. I was like, oh, and people were freaking out all over it around TikTok. I was like, yo, the Undertaker return. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun to see it as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in major news or something like that. But I'm not a wrestling individual, a fan. And there's been this confusion of like, should I play some wrestling games? But it always goes into like fighting games. I just, with the amount of games that I have, I'm surprised that I just never really have like a wrestling game at all to play because I have a lot of Tekkens, Street Fighters, Virtual Fighters, and all that good stuff. But I haven't really played the new stuff surrounding wrestling. I do want to check some out, but I just like, damn, where do I start then? So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. And also, yeah, cloud kitchens is a thing. I think I was like adding this here just for the sake of it or whatever. And it just seems like, yeah, it saves money. It's an interesting way to start a business or something like that. And I was looking this up because I like to look at food because who doesn't love food? And yeah, it was just surrounding like places in Los Angeles of like where to eat in case I go there in like, very shortly. But there was like showing places to eat and cloud kitchens is a thing. And I discovered that through like, it was like, checking out a couple like Filipino restaurants and stuff like that. And apparently one is surrounded within the whole cloud kitchen aspect of it. And especially surrounded with other, I feel like every like couple of weeks I talk about something futuristic that I never know about. I think last time I was like talking about Napper, the app that actually you can rent a hotel or a room for just a nap, but you have to be like freaking super rich to do that. I'm not sure about this situation. I feel like it saves money to actually get, because that's what also another thing. Will it affect the price of like you buying stuff from a cloud kitchen. If you look up cloud kitchen, literally a facility, a building with like maybe 8, 7, or 6 restaurants in one. And no, you don't dine in. You take it home with you. That attitude sometimes when it comes to anything, I know it's convenient, but almost every day we just feel like we're so separated from each other. The whole introvert living is beginning to be bigger and bigger. And I get it, some people are. But I'm one of those people that are introverted, but also I know for a fact it's not very healthy, at least in my opinion, because you're human. You gotta be with other humans. I don't know if I said this with my co-host Fred Stefan, shout out to him, but I said like something about the idea of asking him, or wait, how did I explain this? Asking him like, man, do you ever feel like you want to go out there and see people in general, or whatever that is? And pretty much, it's like, do I or see that as well? Because there's a time where I was okay being alone, but then after a few days, I'm like, God, I kind of want to chat with somebody. And there was this concept in my channel of doing interviews, collabs. I was like, well, what's the point of having this channel if I can't do that with anyone? Like, that's the whole purpose, right? Just to reach out to people. It's I don't know. That's what I keep thinking. When I saw cloud kitchens, when I saw like how internet is taking all over our lives, how an iPad can be your parent, with these freaking kids and their iPads. I went to a party. I went to my nephew's, and just all the kids got their iPads on. And I'm just like, man, y'all kids, just, you gotta be with each other, okay? I know they're with each other, physically, but man, all of them were on their iPads, especially my nephew. Like, he just doesn't want to, really be there at all for the party, doesn't want to eat or anything. It's just like, and it's on his iPad. And I know it could be something else but I'm not really gonna like, put that out there on the internet of just sharing you reason why, or even sharing you where we live or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep that at a minimum, but it's just something I keep noticing. More so as you grow up, you start to notice the generation changes in life itself. I don't know, maybe it's me being old, but yeah, that's pretty much what I kind of, sort of see most of the time. And Lord knows what's gonna be when I turn 30. Everything's gonna, it's like just full on freaking 180 switch. Just like we're seeing like robots just operating in our generation, or anything of Lord knows what's gonna happen. I don't know. But yeah, let's go into something interesting here, which is some gaming news. So pretty much I saw this podcast, GG Easy, and I've been wanting to really talk about this because I had it here like for like 4 days now when I listened to the whole podcast. It's about the homie Robbie. And if you know GG Easy podcast, it's pretty much a podcast that like all these other YouTubers that I'd never watched before, but they just have a cool podcast, and I just started listening to them for like probably 3 or 4 years. It's pretty much been a long time since I've been listening to them. And yeah, it was a moment where one of the guests went to Denmark. And if you know about Denmark, if you know about Norway or just any of those countries, those are freaking expensive nations. Now, I don't know what's the price ranging there. There's a part of me where when hearing the story that the guest, I feel bad for him going there because he did not have a good time. Spending a certain amount of money, and also places are just closed because it was during Easter. It was like, damn, this really sucks. But not only that, he was sick the whole time when he was there. But also have to spend a certain amount when he goes places in here and there, and even at a Burger King, because pretty much Burger King is international. It's in every country, well, almost every country. But yeah, it's just hearing this. And I know for a fact that, yeah, I'm very familiar of Denmark, or at least places in those areas, that they're pretty damn expensive. Like, but hearing his story about it, going over there, I'm like, damn, that's the suck. You spending this amount of money, but also like, having problems with when it comes down to speaking English, which I thought they speak English up there, but apparently, like, you kind of have to, like, I don't know. You kind of have to check out the podcast to really see more of it. The GG Easy podcast of, Robbie going to, like, he's an esports athlete and plays esports. If you know esports, well, I don't need to explain to you. It's pretty much, just, gaming, competitive gaming. And he went up there for a contest or a competition, and then, yeah, he just pretty much like did not have a good time. And when he got back, he got really sick, and that's when he told his like whole like what is it, a Karen story of where he literally, was like picking up medicine and they didn't help him, and he got mad because one of them slammed the door in his face, and yeah, just this whole situation kind of spiraled into insaneness. And I was like, damn. But also another thing is that I heard there was a protest in the esports because he told about it. And I'm not even sure what this event is called. You would think I know a lot about gaming, knowing the amount of games I play, but when it comes down to the esports aspect, man, that stuff ain't fun for me. I'm sorry, okay? Like maybe if there's a certain game where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want, like, but a lot of these games are just modern, and I'm just like, man, I don't play that unless were you talking about the old school stuff or stuff that I'm into. Like, when are we gonna have a Tony Hawk Pro Skater esports, huh? It's crazy how that never happens, but it just continues to never not happen because apparently we just can't have like that type of stuff in terms of esports. But that's just me. The whole Call of Duty and Halo stuff, when Halo was having their esports was around, was pretty cool, but and also League, but I'm not into that anymore as it, as time goes on. But yeah, there was a process in esports which I till this day I'm trying to understand, especially in freaking Europe. What is up with like talking about protest issues or something like that? Like, and I don't know what issue would this relate to. I'm not sure it's related to like climate change or anything like that. But what does an esports contest competition has to do with anything about that? Man, I wish they tried that in like, competitions, because I'm part of the dance world. You should try that at us, because we would like smoke you if you did. Like, I don't know, maybe not, but try that on a skateboard competition, like Tampa M, if you know, in the skateboard community. Yeah, try that. Try protesting a skateboard competition. But why does it have to be in a freaking esports? This is like the second or third time that this happened, and it's like everyone is just cool about it. They're freaking like, ruining like spray painting, like expensive equipment that they don't need to pay for. But apparently they're scot off free because, I don't know, I guess it's freaking Europe. And you just like, just ruin this whole event for everyone. That has nothing to do with the damn issue. What is it about? Gambling? It's sure it's not about the whole freaking CS gambling or something like that, or whatever it is. But yeah, it's just about, I guess, just whatever gambling that is pretty much unrelated to gaming. And these are people that don't know anything about gaming, that just come into these places and just like holding signs, destroying equipment, kicking equipment. And it's just like, I don't know. I have to see the whole thing to see if they actually did that or anything. I'm just like, man, I've been hearing this a lot about like, just putting out protests in like random gaming conventions or contests or just events that has nothing to do with the freaking thing. What the heck does that do good for? Like, imagine going to like some kid's party and then you just do a protest for what though? Like, from a kid's party? That's kind of questionable. It's kind of questionable, okay? But also just a kid's party where there's just like video games everywhere and you just do a protest about it, like, we gotta save the animals while I'm here at this, 11-year-old's birthday party and destroying all these PS5s. God, and you ain't gotta pay for those. You ain't gotta pay for the PS5 that you freaking just throw on the floor. And that stuff is like, gems to some people, okay? And it's for me, shoot, if that was my PS5, man, I would lay them out. I'm sorry. I ain't. Look, you gotta, like, I don't care if the police comes. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lay you out if you dare break something that expensive in front of me that I own. Oh. And listen, with the whole protesting, when it comes to protests in general, if you understand, like, especially my opinion with the whole 2020 thing, the whole BLM, like, I'm not a fan of protesting. I'm sorry. There's some parts of protesting that I do support, but the thing is that I never really find myself in those circles. You know what I'm saying? Especially within the LGBT plus community. I never liked the idea of like, we should protest and yell and scream. And I'm like, shut up. No, I don't want that. Get out of, like, yeah, sure, do you. But hey, if the police does something to you, I ain't having it. I'm not part of it. Okay, it's not me. But anyways, yeah, that's what happened. And the G podcast, I kind of always want to I've been wanting to see more of it, but out of all the times, yeah, this is just one of the interesting things that I just want to share. Especially when it comes to YouTubers itself, I do share that a lot. Like especially with the whole kind of funny thing, I'm still questioning. Like and kind of funny has been my go-to podcast in terms of gaming, and it's just annoying like how they overuse some of the people in there. They overuse Blessing for a good moment, and now they're overusing Greg and his coughing, and it's getting freaking annoying. And it's just like, for crying out loud, how this is like the seventh podcast, the seventh like Gamescast or whatever it is. I don't freaking know. You're overusing this man, or at least he's overusing it because he's basically the boss of this whole thing. Greg Miller, and he just couldn't stop coughing. He just won't like. Can you just not like be in the podcast, man? Where I have to listen? Like some people just need to take a break. And there's people in there that just overwork and just pretty much like make, they talk and talk. Listen, if I was coughing and I was sick and I was like, not feeling good at all, why would I record? Then again, I did record in moments where I was coughing and because it's been too damn long, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen, in this year or something, because so far I've been feeling okay. But man, he's just coughing and just like, it just ruins the whole flow of just everything. The moment he starts laughing, the cough just comes out. And he just, just, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. When people, that are sick, why are they working? A lot of times it makes sense why they should work. I get it. I totally get it. But this is the boss of Kind of Funny. And I'm just like, yo, can you just take a break, man? But hey, don't. I ain't telling anyone to do what they, should do or anything like that, because who am I, right? He has his business. He needs to feed his family. Understandable. But man, with this whole coughing thing, like it's just, people are just not going to be interested anymore because it's so annoying. It's like 6 podcasts right now. You're just coughing all over, like, the whole topics in here and there. It kind of ruins the flow. I'm not going to lie. All of them are also getting tired of it as well. I can see Blessing and also Tim as well. But other than that, yeah, let's talk about some gaming that they're talking about and everyone's talking about. Is Star Wars Outlaws. And which I don't have nothing to say. Again, these are games that are expensive to the core that I have nothing to do with, because let me tell you, I ain't got that money. You think I play those types of games? I have enough games on my backlog. If I add Star Wars Outlaws, I'm probably only going to play 2% of it. I'm sorry. That's like, it's not going to be enough for me to ever play it or even afford it because I don't have a PS5. But hopefully it comes to PC so I can do play it someday. And also, like, there's this whole, pretty much just, what is it? Like about faces, stuff like that. They showed a character of the freaking, from the later that is the main character of Star Wars Outlaws. And by the way, I was really, looking forward to this game. It's one of those games where I'm like, yo, this is going to be, out there as, something interesting. Because Star Wars just always hits when it comes to certain games and certain franchises. And there's a part of me where, like, I wish I could jump into that. There's this whole richness of Star Wars that is just, like, just out in the bloom. And I guess this is one of those moments. And so far, yeah, the character within Star Wars, the main lady, like, whatever her name is, just has to look like this. Like, I just wonder how, like, people just don't understand the idea of, like, how when a preface or something like that, especially it being a video game. Listen, what are you doing of just, like, helping others, like, trying to be inclusive, because that's the only motto of something that they have. You can be inclusive, but also, I don't know, look sexy? Look hot? For Christ's sakes? Like, you thinking that ugly sells. It doesn't. That is never the motto. That's not the world we live in, peoples. It's just, that's not how it works. And I get it, the gameplay is more important, but man, you showing this face, like, it's just like that, not appealing. Okay, the Tomb Raider, for the new Tomb Raider game, Lara Croft's face looks prettier than this. I'm sorry. And there's a reason why Stellar Blade, that I keep rambling about, because people all just have an issue of pretty women in gaming, especially when it comes to Stellar Blade for whatever freaking reason, as if it's destroying women. No, it's not, because it's overselling. The game is overselling right now. It's pretty much a, blockbuster hit in a ways in the gaming world. But when they see this game, that, Star Wars Outlaws in the faces, it's like, man, what am I looking like? Because I'm trying to really think, what are they trying to portray as from this character that that looks like this? It's just like, you're just gonna make like just a bit pretty or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But so far, pretty much, let's just see how it goes in terms of sales because it might crash, it might not. And I guess it's sad this is the only aspect that I can talk about gaming because I only talk about the controversy, but I never talk about the gameplay because I don't own them. I don't have the funds for it. Okay? Nor I'm interested. I don't like, really spending that much money and knowing who I'm giving it to. And that's why I play a lot of indie games. I don't like giving my money into major corporations. There's just something that is part of me where I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. And there's some, companies where I'm like, damn it, I want to play that game, but freaking, I know what you're up to. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. I'm looking at you, EA, and I don't want to give you I don't want to give you $1, but you're making me pull my wallet because the moment you show that new Assassin's Creed, I'm just like, damn it. Giving this to PlayStation, like a half mortgage, and giving it to EA or just some random company. It's like, for Christ's sakes, man. For Christ's sakes. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Also, another thing that happened in gaming news, Wii U and 3DS eShops has officially been shut down. Even though there's like videos of just like, hey, you can still play those systems. And, especially the 3DS one with the 8 shop and also like that's the beauty of emulation itself. Okay, or should I say the high seas gaming in that end is highly way better affordable and you're supporting actual real gamers. I don't even know anymore what I'm saying. But especially with the Wii U, I feel like there's some gems. There's some gems in Wii U. Not anything that I'm like to die for or just into or anything like that. I'm just like, okay, well, I would be playing, like, I feel like, what is it that comes to mind when it comes to the Wii U? Some of the Pac-Man games look cool. Mario Maker, and I guess that's it. I don't know. But yeah, they've been shut down, RIP, but also, they rise from the dead just right away. So they ain't going nowhere. It's the same thing with my PSP. My PSP is old. However, I have tons of games in my PSP thanks to RetroArch, thanks to preserving old titles from the NES days, from the Genesis days. I get to play all those classics on my PSP that I've been having for 3 decades. It's crazy. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about, speaking of emulation, let's talk about Suyu because apparently Suyu, they mentioned the homie, the big dog, or should I say the papa, Mr. Sujano. But not only that, Suyu is, dead. It freaking went full on OJ. Just freaking dead. It's done. It's like, wow, okay. Then, and there's a reason why, because it's saying this thing is radioactive and, they give an explanation. And, they're kind of worried because they know they're about to lose when Nintendo sees this. Yeah, so that's just great. I guess, we still have Ryujinx, but for crying out loud, when it comes down to the emulation space, there needs to be backups for this stuff. And they're worried. And I guess no matter how you split it, when a big corporation, like good old Nintendo, comes after you, what are you going to do? How are you going to fight those battles? It seems like there is really no, better way to know how, they're going to portray this in sort of, in the future, in a sense, because they're not going to, find any way to actually ever, fix it, because some of the people are just beginners in the emulation space. But them shutting it down, I guess it makes sense. I don't know. You be the judge. I feel like there's enough sources to know why they shut down. And probably there's still some links surrounding their downloads that's still going on out there. I'm telling you, Suyu is having a field day. They're having a field day right now. When it comes down to, because they just got their Discord removed. And I think it came back. But that didn't help because, guess what? Freaking, they just decide, yeah, it's over. It's over. No more jokes. No more, because, they call themselves Suyu. Get it? Sue you. We will sue you, if Nintendo sees it. And, yeah, they're just gone. I'm just like, I'm not even surprised anymore. But still, it's kind of just That's a cool name. You have like Yuzu, but it's switched together like Suyu, except it's an S, and it's like just it's freaking clever. I feel like for these forks, they need a lot of support. They need a lot of people to back them up for the sake of game preservation. Okay, and also the high seas. Hey, but yeah, pretty much those are the gaming news. I just drop that on your faces. Let's talk about games I've been playing. So pretty much, yeah, Mini Shoot Adventure is such a good game. Amazing indie game. Oh my god, I love it. Also, I've been playing a bit more of Cavern Dreams. I've been trying to finish that bad boy. And let me tell you, that bad boy good. Okay? It's an amazing 3D platformer. So good. Amber Knights. Play that in the stream. Such a good roguelike. I love it. I adore it. Man, I need more. Hotel, what is this called? There's this game called Hotel Giant, which is basically Sims, but hotel, but you're not playing as a person, but you're building it's a hotel simulation, making your own hotel. It has these PS1 graphics. It's really good. And I believe the second one could be better, Hotel Giant 2. And also, not only, but last but not least, a game where I'm like, yes, finally I got it, Cuisinaire. This game itself, it's literally roguelike, but you're setting up or making a restaurant. And I adore that. I love it. I couldn't help but feel like, man, this is actually pretty good. Love this game. Love this game, And I've been wanting to play it for the longest time. And yeah, I finally got it, and I was like, yep, I'm sticking with this one. And also, when it comes down to retro classics, I guess I've been playing a few here and there. Play Rom City on the NES. And also, I discovered a PS2 classic is The Suffering. So I'm playing The Suffering. Gotta say, I can see why that I'm still a little bit hyped for some Silent Hill in the future. This has been a very good horror FPS game. Such a good game. I pretty much it does have like those references because I played The Suffering a long time ago, and it was such a good game. And playing it right now as an adult, man, the fact that I don't have those same fears from back then, it is so thrilling. It's a lot of different parts here and there where to discover. And I find myself really digging these kinds of games, It's the same kind of vibe I get from the Sinking City. So those types of horror games, I really enjoy so much. And can't wait to review it once I finish it. And there's some references where it's just unhinged. I'm like, well, yep, of course it's from this time. And they made this joke, they made that joke. I'm like, okay, let's not talk about that. But damn, it was, hey, I'm just saying, it's from a certain time. Anyways, let's get into some animation news just to close this off. We got Kung Fu Panda 4. I watched it, I see it, and let me tell you, a review is coming soon. Bada boom. And also, Invincible Season 2, I just want to say this. I haven't seen it, but for crying out loud, can we stop spoiling Invincible Season 2? Specifically on Twitter, and especially on YouTube. People are spoiling Invincible. Stop it. Just stop it. For crying out loud, if you gotta spoil it, what are you doing? I get it. You're talking about the big moment. That's a spoiler. You just gotta spoil it, and we're just all okay with it. Is there a spoil button in any of these for these videos? I'm not gonna say names. I'm tired of people spoiling it. For crying out loud. It's just God, just stop spoiling it. I don't get it. And I haven't even freaking seen the season. Okay? I haven't seen season 2. Okay, but the internet doesn't wait for nobody. That's why people are just on about the whole freaking Star Wars Outlaws. And especially, the internet doesn't care if you own it or don't own it. So, who am I? But man, just people showing a thumbnail of blood and it says Invincible 2, this is what happens. I'm like, for crying out loud, what's the point of the thumbnail or the video if you just already said it just on the thumbnail itself? I don't get it. Also, did anyone else check out that J. Cole versus Kendrick thing? Damn, that was savage. But anyways, yeah, that was supposed to be the news, but I didn't add it, but I just had to add it because I just remembered. I could forget a lot of things. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of things I probably forgot for this VinzTalk, and I kind of, I might make a bonus here and there, but who knows. I'm a chill. I'm out of here. probably eat some food. But I'll see you when I see you. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you when I see you. And yeah, God bless.